Cecile Richards is the former president of Planned Parenthood, an organization obviously responsible for the deaths of millions of unborn babies. So why was the Republican-led Texas House about to pass a resolution honoring her memory before they got embarrassed on the House floor?
I'm in danger!
Welcome back to Come and Take It. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button and comment. It'll help us in the algorithm, even if it's just to say, hi, Sarah. I may even say hi back. Happy Easter to everyone, by the way. Hope you guys had a great one. So last week in the Texas House, our conservative fighters won a battle that they should have never had to fight to begin with. Never. See, here's how it works. The entirety of this session, I have been saying, who needs enemies with friends like these? And here's another example of that. See, Republican Representative Jared Patterson.
Not that guy.
Who, merely my opinion, just me, I only speak for me. He is one of the worst Republicans in the state, one of the largest rhinos in the state. He's a Dustin Burrows, Dade Phelan lackey. And because I guess he's done enough butt kissing in his days to his rhino overlords, he is also the chair of the Local and Consent Calendar Committee. And so what Jared Patterson brought to the House floor for a memorial resolution should make every single conservative in the state of Texas's stomach turn. What he did was so disgusting, okay? So memorial resolutions, just so we're clear, memorial resolutions they're very much tradition, they're very much routine, they're very much symbolic. And so representatives can honor people, generally they're people from their district, okay? They can honor people from their district who have passed away. And sometimes they tie it all together in this one big resolution honoring multiple different people, and the body votes in favor of it, and it is therefore memorialized. Well, Democrat Representative Donna Howard submitted a resolution in memory of Cecile Richards, former president of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Now, let's hone in on this really quickly, okay? Because the left would have you think, they would say, well, Cecile Richards is also the daughter of former Governor Ann Richards. So how could you have a problem with us honoring the daughter of a former governor of the state of Texas? Well, here's the problem. It's in the print. They didn't want to honor Cecile Richards, daughter of former governor of the state of Texas. They wanted to honor Cecile Richards, the former president of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. That was the intention.
That is diabolical.
This woman was responsible for the deaths of millions of unborn babies, and the Texas House was set to honor her memory. The Democrat was going to get her way. Texas, the very same state that is supposed to be pro-life. We're supposed to be a pro-life state. So you tell me how you can be a pro-life state with a Republican legislature voted in by your constituents and make a conscious decision to honor the ringleader of baby killers. The woman who made her career, who made a lot of money trying to perpetuate the idea that women should just kill their unborn babies in the womb rather than allow them to live. You tell me how a pro-life state could even consider something like that. And yet, there it was on the Texas House floor, brought forth by Representative Jared Patterson. He calls himself a Republican. I'm not making the connections here, all right? So there was another layer, if you will, to how deep this disgusting act goes, because it also happened to be in the same memorial resolution as conservative pro-life activist Jill Glover was in, who unfortunately passed from cancer last year. Now, being a conservative activist, she quite literally fought against everything that Cecile Richards stood for. So how could a true conservative in good conscience sign off on a resolution honoring a woman who made it her life's work to kill as many babies as possible in the womb? How could a true conservative even send this to the floor to vote on? Well, a true conservative wouldn't, period. Why the chair of the committee, Jared Patterson, allowed this to even get to the floor is unconscionable. And again, guys, yet it happened in the state of Texas. Now, thankfully, our very own Texas Avengers were there. And I want to play one of them, my friend, Representative Nate Schatzline, explaining why it was so important. Because sometimes, there may be even some of you out here who are watching this right now who are like, but why does this matter? Well, it matters because we voted here in the state of Texas. We voted to have Republicans lead us. And when we voted for Republicans to lead us, we said to the body of the Texas House, we want you to be pro-life. We want you to protect our borders. We want you to protect the sanctity of life. We want you to protect innocent children. We want you to stop the sexualization of children here in the state. We want you to stop the pornographic books in schools and actually issue some enforcement in that. Like, we voted these people in with the platform and the idea that they were actually going to fight for what we believe in instead of fighting for the other side. So you may just sit here and you're like, oh, well, it's just a memorial resolution. What does it matter? What other things could we be getting done right now? What other things could we be getting done right now if we had Republicans who actually understood why we put them to work in Austin? We didn't send them to Austin to go honor Cecile Richards' memory, a woman who is in love with abortion. That's not why we sent them there. That's not why we voted overwhelmingly for Republican. So, yes, it is a big deal when you think about it. It is a big deal when you think about the time that these House members have pissed away arguing over ridiculous things rather than getting actual priorities done. And then when they want to actually get something done, it's something like this. So my friend, Representative Nate Schatzline, was on the House floor and he explained kind of just all-encompassing reasons why all Republicans, every single Republican in the body, should vote no on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I want to first off say, if you have memorial resolutions that you truly care about that matter, I would ask you to resubmit them. But the problem is, today, on this calendar, we have that we're honoring Cecile Richards, who is president of Planned Parenthood, who is responsible for the death of 63.6 million babies. And I know that's an uncomfortable truth. And I'm doing my very best to speak with compassion when I say this, because what I understand to be true is that we are a pro-life state that has passed legislation that lines up with our biblical values that says life begins at conception, and that is why we protect the unborn in this state. And yet, we have the audacity as the Texas House to bring before a resolution that honors a woman that perpetuates the murder of children. Who will speak for the 63.6 million babies? We will. You are someone who believes in life in this chamber. I'm asking, will you vote no? Will you speak up for the 63.6 million babies who lost their life? Will you speak up by voting no on this calendar? Because, members, it's very simple. A yes vote to this calendar today is to silence the voices of those who have no voice. It's to silence the voices of those who were murdered senselessly. Members, if you want to honor Jill Glover today, you will vote no, because there is no better way to honor the life of that incredible woman than to take down this calendar. And I'm expecting it.
So that's just some of it. You can go check out the full speech over on his X account. But let me give you a spoiler alert. All right. After he and some others, the Texas Avengers, I like to call them, took to the floor and stated their case, House leadership panicked, knowing that they didn't have the votes, and the entire resolution was pulled from the House floor.
At Texas Scorecard, we produce real news for real Texans. Here's what that means.
For starters, we share your values and we won't push leftist narratives down your throat.
But sometimes we may rant a little.
Sometimes we might get a little spicy.
And sometimes we can get a little passionate.
But we never lose sight of the truth.
Like exposing lawmakers for voting against their constituents.
And exposing threats to the safety and security of our state.
And empowering citizens to take action in their community.
At Texas Scorecard, we put in the work so citizens have the knowledge they need to effectively dominate government and culture.
We got it. We got to win, I guess. I guess, right? It's like, I want to say congratulations. Congratulations. Apparently, Republicans still know how to Republican here in the state of Texas. Every once in a while, they can come together and be like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. My constituents didn't vote me in to come here to Austin and allow you guys to honor the memory of a woman who advocated for the very thing that we are fighting against here in the state of Texas. We're not going to do it. So it's like, I want to say congrats, but also you should have never, all of these representatives, I'm speaking to you guys right now, you should have never been put in that position to begin with, and by your own party, no less. Good job. Congrats. You should have never had to fight that fight to begin with. So it's a fair outcome for the position that they were put in, but who needs enemies with friends like these? And before I go, I want you to gather around for story time, all right? Because on this topic, I was at the Capitol just a few months ago, and I happened to be there on a day that actually ties in to this very story that I'm telling you about. Because there was a day a couple months ago when Representative Andy Hopper, he is a freshman and he is one of the Texas Avengers, all right? Representative Andy Hopper attempted to have his resolution heard to honor Jill Glover. It was his resolution. He wanted to honor Jill Glover. It was not tied to anything else. It was a standalone resolution, and this is very, very routine that they do in the Texas House, specifically when there are people who are in the House gallery who it would matter to them, right? So he asked for them to hear it. Should have been easy in a Republican House with a Republican speaker and Republican chairs. But Chairman Jared Patterson, who had to allow that resolution to be heard on the House floor, denied the request. I watched it happen. I was there on that day. Watched it happen. You know what else he did? Republican Jared Patterson also denied Representative Shelley Luther's request to honor her medical team from the hospital where she received intensive care after a brain aneurysm where she almost died. She had the doctors, the medical team from that hospital stay, where she was just lucky to come out of it with her life. They were there. They were present in the House gallery. And Jared Patterson said, no, we can't vote on that. It's too personal. How dare a representative ask to honor the doctors who were there at the Texas House who saved her life? No can do. Now remember, the Texas House has now voted to honor Beyonce. They honored Pakistan Day. But honoring the memory of a longtime conservative activist was a bridge too far for Jared Patterson. Honoring doctors who nursed a current state representative back to health was a bridge too far for Jared Patterson. He had to get in one last laugh. And his last laugh was to denigrate the memory of an actual conservative fighter and push through a resolution antithetical to Texas morals and values. And doesn't that show you what he's all about? Now, one more quick story, unless you're, I don't know, I'm just going to let you decide what this man's intentions are. Okay? You decide what this man's intentions are. The story I just told you, and the time that I went to Jared Patterson's office at the beginning of last session, and he told me about the bill that he authored that he really wanted my support on. And it was very easy to give the support, okay? Because it was a bill that is now signed into law that was supposed to protect children from sexually explicit books in school libraries. Now, you tell me why, after the House voted to impeach Ken Paxton, and Jared Patterson was one of those people, and I was very openly against those who voted to impeach Ken Paxton because I saw the whole thing for the sham that it was, okay? Jared Patterson, prior to the impeachment, messaged me on social media and asked me to meet with him to talk about the bill. So I met with him. He took the picture for social media clout. We met about the bill. I gave him my support. So how come after the impeachment, after he decided he didn't like me anymore because I was outspoken about what I truly believed, that I contacted him about Plano ISD and school libraries and pornographic sexually explicit books. I contacted him for his help in getting those books out of the district. And a very responsive Jared Patterson, before I was outspoken about something. I didn't call him out specifically. I was just outspoken against something that he did. I didn't hear from him. I reached out to him for his help. I said, children are being exposed to this sexually explicit material. Can you please help? This was your bill. You're supposed to champion this issue. Can you help us? No response. Crickets. But you make your own decision about whether or not Representative Jared Patterson really cares about conservative values or if this is just all for power and some sort of fame that he thinks that he gets from this whole process. You tell me why he would even allow this memorial resolution to get to the House floor. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. But my opinion, the snakes are out in full force. And thankfully, we've got another win under our belt thanks to the Texas Avengers. You never know what's going to happen this week, guys. There's never a dull moment. So we will be on the lookout for that, and we'll see what happens next week and be sure to bring it to you here on Come and Take It.